we would like to invite Dr. Manish Dhawan for the Dr. R.A. Agrawal oration, please. Manish sir, please. And I would like to call upon stage Dr. Junjunwala to please chair the session, and Dr. Saurabh Shah sir, please.
Good afternoon, and it is a great privilege to speak about Dr. R.A. Agrawal in his oration. I had a privilege to work with Professor Dr. R.A. Agrawal as his secretary. I have been secretary to Milind Chaudhary as a president and R.A. Agrawal. And I have closely observed him. See, my entry into Asami was like entry into the army. I started from very down. I was member for 6 years. Then I became executive member for 4 years. Then I was secretary for 6 years. Then vice president for 2 years. 2 years president, and now the past president. So I have a very long stint from down upwards. And over the years, I have observed him. So what are his qualities? He is academician's par excellence. You know his knack for giving lectures and teaching. He is one of the pillars of Asami India. He has developed this organization to this present state. Visionary, he has popularized this Ilizarov technique in India. International luminary, everyone know in Ilizarov field or deconstruction field, everyone knows who is Dr. R.A. Agrawal. He is a renowned orthopedic surgeon. He is a trailblazer, and now one important thing is that he is the first person in India to introduce carbon rings. He is the first person. And then I think he opened a unit also, a kind of a manufacturing unit. I don't know what happened to it, but he was the first person. He is author of multiple books on Ilizarov, and he had a privilege to publish a book on Ponseti technique before even Dr. Ponseti. And he is recipient of various national and international awards. And he had a very humble beginning. He was born in a very small village in Uttar Pradesh, and he rose to become such a eminent orthopedic surgeon and philanthropist. He did his MBBS from Kanpur, and he has 3 major posts in his academic career. One is the president of Asami India. He was secretary of Indian Foot and Ankle Surgery, president of UP Orthopedic Association. His professional achievements is that he is an expert in Ilizarov, everyone knows it, but he has a distinction to treat polio, cerebral palsy, and other crippling diseases. He has done a lot of work over the last 30 years. And he has successfully treated around 10,000 children and did many camps, authored the books which I have already told you, and he had a distinction to be editor for Journal of Foot and Ankle Society. Dr. Agrawal had been a faculty at Baltimore Limb Deformity course, a very prestigious course, and in other countries like Brazil, China, Malaysia, Russia, Bangladesh, and Egypt. And he also received President Gold Medal in UP Orthopedic Association, and also a recipient of KP Srivastava Gold Medal by Indian Orthopedic Association. He had a national award. This award is a very prestigious award which is given by President of India, and this is basically given to an eminent person who helps the physically disabled children of India. So this was given by President of India, and he had been a lot of international recognitions in various countries. He has been felicitated, and Dr. Agrawal had done, multiple Ponseti clubfoot clinics all over Uttar Pradesh and all remote areas of India. And he is also an active member of Lion Club. And almost he has planted 11,000 trees in Gorakhpur. So I think we should have a standing ovation for Dr. Agrawal. Please, everyone stand. Now, I take this opportunity to give you a historic, journey of Ilizarov to spatial correction, because I have been myself involved in lot of research, and I could get lot of history, from the, under the carpet. And I have named this thing History and Politics or Dissemination of Ilizarov and Six-Axis Correction Technology. I have written this word politics because politics is everywhere. So let us see what was the politics. We start from the beginning. Actually, this term has been coined by Professor Dror-Pelle. So everything started in Kurgan, and Professor Ilizarov, he was actually born in modern day Belarus now, because Russia was first USSR, now it is, but present day Belarus. He was born there, and he was a child from a very poor Jewish family. He had did his schooling at the age of 11 years from Dagestan, but his medical education was fragmented because first he was studying in Crimea, there was a First World War going on. He shifted his medical school many times, and finally he graduated from Kazakhstan. Now, after graduation, he was posted as a general medical doctor in Dolgova. This is 150 kilometers from Kurgan. And in 1946, he organized a workshop and on medical instruments, and this is his, the old picture. The apparatus resembles like Ilizarov, but surprisingly, he never had training in surgery till that time. So this is 1946 picture, and then he got it patented his device in 1952. Finally, in 1950, he joined his surgical training. So 3 years before his surgical training, he could, develop his device, which looked like a cycle. You can see the rings. So it is, nobody knows how this happened. And the legend about the bicycle spokes is not true. I had a personal communication with Professor Dror-Pelle and Professor regarding Professor Ilizarov. This is not true. But legend about the lengthening of amputation stump is true. And Professor Ilizarov went on a holiday after doing an osteotomy, and the patient, instead of compression, started distracting. And there was a new bone formation, so he developed this distraction osteogenesis. So it is worth mentioning that in 1904, Cordwiller described distraction. But it is not clear whether, because Russia was a closed country and probably Dr. Ilizarov was not aware that, this Cordwiller has already explained this thing. So this is there. But the main contribution of Ilizarov is to carry out the animal histological experiments for distraction osteogenesis. So he showed that the physeal distraction, bone transport, distraction of non-union, bone widening, and contracture correction, he basically applied science to it, and everything had a logic. He received many awards and medals, and also the Lenin Prize in Medicine, which is equivalent to the Nobel Prize in the closed Cold War days. So now, surprisingly, the Ilizarov technology, it basically was not popular in Russia itself because of politics, but it was very popular in Cuba. So the main recognition of Professor Ilizarov came when he treated Valery Brumel. Everyone knows who is Valery Brumel. He is Olympic silver and gold medalist, and this gentleman, after winning a gold medal, he had a party with his friends on a motorbike. Around 11 o'clock, he has an accident and he develops compound fracture. Now it went into non-union. So this is Valery Brumel. And they later had 9 surgeries. And he was admitted in Moscow, and there was a doctor known as Vladimir Golaikoksy, who basically heard on the round that we have to amputate him. And he went and told him that you run away from here and go to Professor Ilizarov. So Professor Ilizarov treated him. Then he again went to Olympics, and but he could not win a medal that time. But he attended Olympics again. And he got married to Elena Petushkova, we know equestrian star, and Professor Elizarov was the best man in his wedding. So this is Elena Petushkova. Now, Elizarov received international recognition after he treated Carlo Mori. He was an Italian mountaineer, explorer, photojournalist from Lecco, Italy. He suffered infected non-union and he went on a sailing expedition where he met a Soviet physician and sailor, Yuri Senkevich, and he advised him to go to the Professor Elizarov. And he was treated, and then he was Italian, so Italian surgeons were very, inquisitive that who is this person? So they visited him. And ASMI was formed. It was not Asami, initially it was ASMI. And the first president of ASMI was Professor R. Catinio, and later the name was changed to Asami. So this is Carlo Mori. This is the physician who advised him, and this is Professor Elizarov enjoying cigarette in the OT after operating Carlo Mori. So Italians, they visited Kurgan, and this man, everyone knows he is Professor Catani, and this mysterious character is the person from the Communist Party, because Russia was a closed country, so they wanted a kind of a spy to see that Elizarov should not transmit his education or knowledge to somebody else. So Professor Elizarov gave the first biological law of tension. Second biological law is their method of corticotomy, distraction, compression, osteogenesis, and Elizarov apparatus and instruments. So basically Kurgan is far away from Moscow. It is in Ural province, neighboring Siberia. So this is the world's largest orthopedic hospital. You can say the originator, the Russian government made this hospital in his honor, Professor Elizarov's honor. And the first picture is the Elizarov's old office, first two. This is in front of the center. That last one is the animal lab. And this is Professor Elizarov's house. This is his car. This is the postage stamp which Russians have, brought out in his honor. So Elizarov family, his wife is a radiologist. Her name is Valentina. And his daughter, they married, and his daughter Svetlana is working in US, and she had been wife to Professor Robert Razobridge, who had our virtual meeting, but now I think they have separated. So this is Professor Shestov, the first student of Professor Elizarov, and he was also director after him. This is the grave of Professor Elizarov, and is the final resting place in Kurgan. And he passed away on 24th July 1992 at the age of 70 years. No, it is not July, it is 24th June. So Professor Dror Pele now came from West to meet Professor Elizarov. This is his first picture of Professor Dror Pele meeting. This is the interview with the interpreter. And he then did a 6 months fellowship with Professor Elizarov and learned the Elizarov technique. So Professor Dror Pele has written this Principles of Deformity Correction, which is Bible for us. And this is Professor Herzenberg. And Professor Herzenberg has co-authored a book, Art of Limb Alignment with Professor Schwann Standard. It's a very good book to read. And now how Asami India came into being. Now in 1985, Professor Elizarov came to Bombay Hospital during an invitation arranged by Bombay Hospital by Professor Dholakia. Dr. Dholakia was the first president of Asami, and theme of the conference was surgery in tropics. And Professor Elizarov showed so many cases, and he did not stop for hours. And the participants, they asked that how many complications you had. The interpreter said no complications. He was given this name. This is controversial because I had interviewed Professor Jhunjhunwala and Dr. GSK. They say that Magician of Kurgan was, title given to Elizarov in Bombay Hospital. But there is controversy about it, but two people say yes. Then he again came in 1987 to KEM Hospital, and in 1991, Professor Elizarov did a basic course with Professor G.S. Kulkarni in Chennai. Now GS Kulkarni went to Baltimore to work with Professor Rod Pele and stayed for 15 days. During the same time, Dr. Jhunjhunwala went to Russia after applying for visa for almost 5 years. He got it in 1990. So both of them met in Bombay Hospital and they decided that we should invite Professor Rod Pele. And first course was done in Bombay Hospital in 1992. And Asami India was formed in October 1992 with first president K.T. Dholakia. So this is GSK and this is Jhunjhunwala. He is also sitting on the stage. Professor G.S. Kulkarni was our he was a founder member and a second president of Asami India and past president of Indian Orthopedic Association. He was the first secretary also. He has written many books and we had a GSK Oration also. Dr. Jhunjhunwala is sitting on the stage. He is also founder member of Asami India, past president of Indian Orthopedic Association, past president of Asami International. He is the only person from India who became Asami International president. And he is presently in Bombay Hospital. This is the Asami Trust Deed. This document is the first document of Asami India when it was formed. And G.S. Kulkarni, Milind Kulkarni, Sunil Kulkarni, Ruta Kulkarni, and Vidisha Kulkarni, and Navrang Gur. I don't know who is this character, but he was there in that. So it was adopted on 1st October 1993. So how many years we are in being? 1993 and 2023. How many years? So almost, this is our spanning of Asami India. This is Prasham Shah. This is the first person to do Ilizarov in India. Now he has left Ilizarov and he was the first batch of foreign trainees in Kurgan, and this picture is from the basement of the parking of the Kurgan hospital. He is Prasham Shah and he did conducted many cases. And the first case he did in the Prince Ali Khan Hospital, Mumbai. This is the newspaper cutting. Now this hospital is not there, but it is the newspaper cutting. Dr. Milind Chaudhary, he has been past president of Asami India, and he is the privileged person who is also the honorary fellow of Kurgan Center, honored professor of Kurgan Center from India. He is the only one from India now. And he also has a privilege of starting in 2015 the Journal of Limb Lengthening and Reconstruction, which is our journal now. So it has been in, and Dr. Milind Chaudhary was second person to do Ilizarov in India, and third person was GSK. Dr. Ruta, everyone knows she has been president of Asami India. And Mangal Parihar, he has never been president, but now he is president-elect and he has been secretary of Asami India. And he is the person who developed this DevFix device under this Make in India program. Professor Agrawal, he has been president of Asami India. So this is his very famed 2 books. Professor Harsha Shah has been president. He has a lot of role in developing Asami India. Now I talk about myself also because I was also president. But I had a distinction to get trained under 3 Asami presidents. Number 1, K.T. Dholakia, 2, Jhunjhunwala, and GSK. So I was trained by 3 Asami presidents. I had a long stint in Asami India, almost around more than 20 years. So everything started in India with a big bang, and many surgeons started doing without proper training. Some placed wires in the arteries, patient bled to death. Some passed the wires through nerves, caused nerve injury. And Ilizarov went into disrepute in India from 1997 to 2005. Now, Asami was removed as a subspecialty from IOA, Indian Orthopedic Association, in 2011. It was so disreputed that anybody who is doing Ilizarov means he is doing complications. But gradually with our efforts, Dr. Pele, Kulkarni, Milind Chaudhary, Jhunjhunwala sir, Mangal Parihar, Arya Agrawal, Harshad, myself, Ruta and all, we could now again bring it to the track. Dr. Pele has distinction of doing 8 Ilizarov workshops in India. And this now it is right on the track. And this is the picture of when Dr. Jhunjhunwala became the Assami president in 2014 in Goa, international president. So these are the president till now, and these have been the secretaries. So I have to, my talk cannot be complete if I don't talk about Professor Bari. He is responsible for dissemination of Elizarov technology in Indian subcontinent. He has been there for almost every Elizarov courses or conference in India. So this man, Dr. Bari, please stand up. He is one person who has worked to bring this technology all over South India, Indian subcontinent, including Bangladesh, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, India, and Dr. Bari has been fellow in India also, in Chennai. So he's written multiple books, 8-9 books, very good books. So I come now from Elizarov, how 6-axis correction evolved. So actually it was basically developed by Cauchy and Raoul Bricard, but they never used a mathematical equation for that. So this is way back in 1800s. This is the 6-axis correction. This is the 6th degree of freedom. You can basically elongate, shorten, translate, rotate. You can do anything with 6 legs. So this is the Gauss, Stewart, and Keppel platform. This is the first helicopter simulator. And basically application is telescope positioning, low impact docking for space station, docking of space station, and modern flight simulator. Now the Chandrayaan, the Indian Chandrayaan has landed in the moon. It also had 6 legs. So Chandrayaan is also hexapod. So basically Chandrayaan has used our technology to go to moon. So these are the earlier devices. This is a Kurgan Center device also, which was never popularized. Achha, one thing I forgot to mention, Dr. Suhas Shah was a very active secretary of Asami India. And he had done a lot of work, and he was there. He works in Mumbai. He has done a lot of work as a secretary in Assam, India. Now in India, we had 4 systems, hexapod, SUV, Taylor special frame, DevFix, but now currently only DevFix is available. And this credit goes to Taylor's, Charles' brother. Basically, they were the first one to use the mathematical equation and developed this Taylor special frame. And one brother, Charles, is an orthopedic surgeon, and Harold Taylor is an engineer, computer engineer. So Professor Klaus said is the developer of hexapod. This is hexapod device. This is a German device. Leonard Solomon, he had given our virtual talk also. Now, I received a medal from Professor Leonard Solomon as on my work on spatial correction. So these pictures over time I have collected. This gentleman is Mark Edelman. He's from Israel. He's a very, very prominent person in Taylor spatial frame. This is Leonard Solomon. This is William Dean Terrell, this person, who basically developed the T-helix, which one of the presenters have told about. This is Charles Taylor. This is James Binsky, Leonard Solomon, Harzenberg, Pele. And this is basically Klaus said again, this German inventor. Now the motorized, device has come, so you can program it. And this is the orthospin fixator, which works on a, Bluetooth. Means you can basically apply the frame, take an X-ray. Patient is in Nigeria, but what happens? I can program it, send it SMS via his mobile, and this device gets connected with the mobile, and I can do correction from sitting in India. So this is our future. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Dhawan. You have explained and you have made Dr. R.A. Agrawal a great man. As such, he is a great man. Will you please come here and take this prize?
So I request everyone to please give a standing ovation to Dr. Manish Dhawan on presenting the R.A. Agrawal Oration. He is a great leader and a past president at India. Yeah.
So there are a few fellowship certificates. For the UK, we have Dr. Subramaniam Gandhi. She has done with Dr. Hemant Sharma at UK. Now we have
Now, Doctor, he will tell the experience of the Dr. Hemant Sharma. Because in UK, he's a very popular orthopedic surgeon, but basically he's Indian. So he takes care of all the fellows who goes for the training. So you have gone to? Yeah.
So, good morning, everyone. So, first of all, I'd like to thank Asami India for taking this initiative, which they have been doing it for many years and motivating young Elizaro surgeons. So, my experience was I worked with Professor Hemant Sharma sir in UK. So, he was the Limb Reconstruction Society president, British Limb Reconstruction Society president, when I was with him. So, first we had the opportunity of attending the Hull deformity course, which is a very well-known course, like a Baltimore deformity course, which was an extensive course for a duration of around 5 days. So it starts by around 8 a.m. and ends by around 8 p.m. So it was complete knowledge sharing place where we were able to learn many basic things. Though we know something, we were able to get everything about deformity correction. And following the deformity course, we were able to meet stalwarts from all around the world, from USA, from Egypt, from UK, all around the place they were present, and they were all down to earth and very approachable. That was the most important thing, so that we could take many points from them. Many learning was present. Following the workshop, we were present there for a period of 1 month as a fellow with visiting surgeon fellow with Professor Hemant Sharma, where he was very down to earth since his culture and basis was from India. So the time period, which was for 1 month, we felt, though it was very short, every day he used to spend around minimum 2 hours time with us when there is no surgeries, explaining about each and every surgery which we wanted to discuss. So like lengthening over nails or precise nail and fit bone, these topics which we do not see in India. So it was a very, very good experience for us in the starting of our career. I definitely thank from bottom of my heart the entire Asami India team for giving us the opportunity. Thank you, sir.
Actually, I tell you how the Dr. Hemant Sharma has given the fellowship. I and Dr. Hemant Sharma, Miami, we have gone that course there. So I was just talking to Dr. Hemant Sharma. I told him, you have never done from India, your country. You have never done anything. So he asked me, what you want? I told him, you should give 3 fellowship minimum. So at that time, I was the president of the Asami India. I mailed immediately to Asami India in same place. And he given the response. He given the answer, yes, I am okay to give the 3 fellowship. So he.
Thank you, sir. Next, we have Dr. Ravi Kumar Badaria for the same UK fellowship with Dr. Hemant Sharma.
So these are our successful candidates who completed their international fellowships last year. And we interviewed yesterday the candidates which will be going this year and will be announcing their results today also.
Experience.
Good morning, everyone. Actually, almost everything has been told by Subramaniam. Hemant sir is teaching each and everything, basic from A, B, C, D to Z, like how to drill. After each drill, you have to wash the track. Each and every small things also he was telling. Whatever he is doing in the surgery, he was telling continuously to us. So that way, and to whenever we are going to see the patients, he has to ask patient for permission to see, because there is no permission to other fellow to see. So every time he asking permission that our fellows are there, he want to see the wounds and that. So he was very nice to do all these things. So it was a very great experience. Thank you. Thank you, Asami India.
Thanks, Dr. Ravi Kumar. And then we have Dr. Prashant Upadhyay. He was selected for a gold paper and further he was awarded the fellowship certificate also. Your experience, please.
So first of all, I want to thank Asami for sending me to Hull. It was a great opportunity to work over there. Well, almost everything has been told by Subramaniam, what all things were there. My experience was almost same like this. One thing that I want to say that apart from a very good surgeon, Dr. Hemant Sharma is a very good person at heart. So, yeah, he has said, every time when we have to go to the OPD to see the patient, every single time he used to ask the patient that they are my fellow and do you have the permission that they will be in the OPD. Every time, every patient, he used to ask. And one experience that was interesting for us that we were able to listen to Hindi songs in the British OT. So that was also one of the experience. And I thank you, Asami India, for saying.
We have 2 more international fellowship certificates. For Vienna, we have Dr. Mohit Dhingra and Dr. Rohit Bhure, but they're not here. So we'll mail them later. And we have to give, sir has to give checks to them all. And for the inland, we have Dr. Akansha Sinha. Please. She has a fellowship with Dr. Mangal Parihar, sir, Mumbai. Experience, please.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Akanksha. I did my inline fellowship last year for 6 weeks at Mumbai, and I would like to share that all the time that I was there, I only added to the armamentarium of information that I have gathered as a postgraduate student, developing on various aspects of probably building accuracy, finesse, and decreasing the probability of any kind of error by using 3 softwares: Horos, TabPlan, and TraumaCAD. And at every step, Dr. Mangal Parihar sir guided us by giving us necessary inputs. And all the time, Dr. Divya Ahuja sir was there with me, enabling me to be at par with the other regular fellows who have been working there from earlier as well. So the OT and the OPD was very, very well streamlined using these three softwares. Calculations were done on these three softwares. It was checked by everybody. And the best part about the fellowship that I was there, that I understood while being there, was that you make your own plan, you make mistakes, you go ahead and paste that paper of yours which has all the angles, which has all the dimensions measured, and put it out there, put yourself out there, and therefore analyze how far you have come on a day-to-day basis. And everybody in the OT has a plan, everybody in the OT puts up a plan on the OT wall, and day by day it gave me a little more understanding of what I was doing there and how much more I really have to go to learn and to build on what I know already. And that is what I came to understand as a student of science, that we are all here to learn and learning never stops. And that is the thing I have gathered while being there for 45 days. And I'm very fortunate that I could spend that much time and make memories and build myself a little more than what I was a day before. Thank you so much, Asami India. Thank you so much, everybody.
So now we call Dr. Manish Singh Rajput. He did his fellowship with Agrawal sir at Gorakhpur. We have more names, but details are not there.
Thank you everyone, and we'll be announcing the results for yesterday's fellowship soon. So like all our dynamic young surgeons, we'll be sending some few more this year to learn the Elizarov technique and the limb reconstruction from international faculty also. Thank you everyone.
Thank you everyone. First of all, thanks to the Asami India for providing me this fellowship. I have done my fellowship under Oration and Rajesh sir. It was a great experience. I learned a lot about the new techniques of the Elizarov. I have seen varieties of cases of what we have seen in 2 or 3 day workshop. Thank you very much, sir.
So we'll be requesting Junjanwala sir to give checks to 5 international fellows.